What does NIT offer in lifestyle accessory design at the Gandhinagar campus? Now, what are the things that are being taught at LAD in each and every semester, and what are the roles that one can assume after one graduates from NIT in lifestyle accessory design? Now, NIT also offers an exchange program. Now, how does that work? How can one be eligible for that after getting into NIT? I have Ankita Goswami with me today. She's a graduate in lifestyle accessory design from NIT in 2018, and she started working in design and research. She worked at Bajaj Electricals for more than 2 years, and now she's working at Crompton Greaves as a design strategist. Now, she talks about everything in detail. She even talks about how she made it to NIT and talks about her design journey. So stay tuned and enjoy the conversation.
I hope you had your lunch.
Yeah. I pretty much have. I'm an early eater, so 12:30 I finish my lunch.
Oh, and you wake up also early?
Nah. No. So these days I'm not, because I want to give rest to myself. A lot of things that I do in the day, and like switching roles, switching the mindset as well, because I have illustrations happening on one side. On another side, I have this teaching happening. Then there is this podcast. Then like there are interns that I teach, and so some part of it goes there. So there's a lot of things that I keep doing. So I want to rest. Yeah. Before
like a great multitasker. Yeah, I mean, actually you're very right. The switching between two different setup or minds, because you need different set of minds working in different places. That's that's more than a physical task.
Yeah,
I think. It's draining actually.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, I think.
It is, and
so true.
But
you're doing great. You're doing really great. I so want to bring this into, not because of anything, it's just that I genuinely feel, because we all say, everybody has this desire of doing something of their own and doing something really impactful, but really we actually doing are very few. So, and genuinely be doing, so that's great.
Thank you. Thank you. It feels very good when designers acknowledge, and because we all share this thing about passing it on to other aspirants, that it is there in every designer. I've seen this. I've spoken to so many designers. Even India mein to it is there, like perfectly it's there. Every designer wants to do it, even if it is somebody who has graduated a decade ago. Even he wants to do it, and he is willing to do it. Everybody wants to do it. So this is something that I really love about this community, because we're all ready to share the knowledge and everything, and it's very nice to be a part of this community that way.
Yeah, it's very lively. Whoever you meet, you just connect. You don't sometimes it's so difficult. If you, I would not be saying. I could just tell it to you. Sometimes if you meet somebody outside this community and who doesn't know about these things, sometimes I take a little bit of time to understand. But when it is like a designer or somebody of a similar wavelength or similar things, similar line of study. So it's just very quick. It's like there's no ice breaking that is needed. It's just very quick, very open. Nobody's coming up with inhibitions about who's doing what, much. So I have not faced all this in past all my 5 years. There's no judgment between designers, and quite free to share, talk. So it's a good thing.
And also there's this thing about, it's also there's a lot of overlap happening. Alag design fields, and there's a lot of overlap, and you are bound to cross paths, right? So it's very interesting that way, because I don't see that happening with engineering. Might happen, but very less probability of happening it. So That's it. So an electrical engineer who's worked for, let's say, 5-6 years might not end up becoming computer science engineer, but
Exactly.
we can definitely switch.
We can do anything
Yeah.
actually. It's just up to our basic skills are like so set.
Yeah.
You just have to improvise those into whichever domain you want to switch, and then
Yeah,
get start rolling. That's what I feel.
that's true.
And we can have mix. We can have khichdi also. Like we can just have.
Yeah, you're very right. I mean, we can just switch between the roles, and we can assume whichever one we want. So, before getting into all of that, why don't you tell me your journey? Like, how did you get into design in the first place? Like, how did you decide, okay, design is something that I want to do?
It is a good question, and this question has evolved, over the period of time in my mind. So, design as a whole, I think it started. I'll tell you, being artistic, and I like painting from a very young age.
Mhm.
I started painting at the age of I think 6 or 7. And then I remember those times because I come from a place where it's quite culturally quite
Mhm.
rich. I think India is culturally quite rich in every sector, every state. So there also when we talk about music, dance, and all, it was quite prominent in Guwahati. So my dad wanted me to be a really good singer, and he put me into classical. And I was not like classical was boring for me, so I was not interested. And then automatically I used to watch TV and started seeing things, and I started painting, sketching. And I remember I was in class 4. My teacher had to call my mom, and my mom was like, "What happened?"
Mhm.
So she was quite astonished to see, like, I did a flower vase, just like a normal drawing, which was like as if somebody as a artist might have done.
Wow.
So I did it with pastel colors. I still have that photo framed in my house. So yeah, so that's quite funny. And then my mom dad thought that she has something, and we could put her into some art school. And they did that, and I was going through, and I was very happy. Like, I was not happy doing music. I was just doing for the sake of my father, getting up early in the morning at 5 o'clock, doing riyas and all that. And I did. But then what happened, in class 9, I remember I started sketching just random, whatever objects I see. Then I started, I got a knack for just designing my own clothes. I'll cut something and make. So all this crafty things started happening from class 8 or 9. And after that, I was like, I didn't know it was design or what, but something is as called fashion design or something accessory. I didn't know about all that. I wanted to get into this creative line is what I knew.
Okay.
But since class 10, right, the pressure of when you actually score good in class 10, and then the expectations become high that you have to become either a doctor or an engineer.
Yeah.
So that was the only 2 options I had in my 11th, 12th, and I had to focus on my studies. So this kind of took a backseat, and nobody from my family was into these kind of lines. Everybody's either a doctor, a lawyer, or some IAS officer. So nobody actually saw it coming, like somebody could actually go into the creative line. And in class 12th, when I got through even engineering, and after that, I still remember I had gone to an educational fair, and some New Zealand university. I was carrying everything, and then in those sheets I had some sketches. So there were some discussions happening, and they just pulled out. I don't know how come those sketches came, and they really lied. Like, why don't you, like, they were kind of giving me some advice about design, and I tried convincing my father that I want to do design.
Okay.
So that time I could not be that prominent about if I should be doing what kind of design. I just wanted to be in that creative line. So I knew about NID. I checked somewhere, and I knew about NID. I was just begging that let me go into either NIFT, NID somewhere. But then it comes across because we belong to a family of all officers, doctors, and lawyers. They're like, "तुम क्या मतलब दर्जी बनना चाहते हो?" This is what
Right.
something that
The black sheep
that
of the
came,
family.
Yeah, so like, why do you want to be a little different? So
Yeah.
and I thought, okay, if I've got through engineering, I should complete my degree and then I will decide. But I made sure that this creative, knack or this creative line always stays along with me wherever I go. So
Okay.
in my engineering days, nobody thought I'm an electronics and communication designer. They all thought I come from the architecture background because I was handling their, all the fest operations
Okay.
where you have to do banners, where you have to do creative displays. So, like, most of the time, people thought I come from the architecture background because I was always with the creative team. My group was creative. I was always with these, set of people. So I made sure I keep that, and I also somewhere in the back of the mind I was like, I will get my engineering degree, give the certificate to my parents, and that's what I did actually. I like ye ho gaya, but now I want to get into NID, and I did not think about any other college. I had options, backup options. Everybody keeps right plan B, but majorly my target. I used to sleep. I used to eat, I used to breathe NID. That's what I felt, especially in those preparation times. My entire walls were filled with like NID cutouts, posters, and I still remember I have this A4 size white sheet where I literally wrote like Ankita Goswami, National Institute of Design, 2015. And those things that time I didn't know that you have to have a habit of seeing things. Now I know more about being conscious, more about being how our subconscious minds work and how to actually manifest. But that time I didn't know. It was just my desire to be there. And I remember I get up on the right side of my bed. I wake up and I like literally look on my wall where there is a name display in 2015, and it happened. That's how that has been my initial journey.
It's really great. I mean, the passion that you carried forward for I think more than 4 years to get into NID.
It's been there.
Yeah, that's really cool.
For me, I think Sanjay. For me, it's always been my, even as if the smallest thing I do. I don't know, I have this, I wouldn't say being perfectionist, but I always like to be satisfied within myself. Like, मतलब मैंने अच्छे से किया, like it's perfectly like the way I wanted. So when I was in engineering, I felt, and I have learned a lot from engineering. I would never say being an engineer has helped me till now, and it's going to help me always.
Right.
But I knew that I was not doing justice to myself in what I want to do and where I could excel. So hence I was doing okay, but I wanted to be good at what I do and I have to be happy within.
Yeah.
So this kept me going.
It's very, very interesting and very good to know. I've been talking to a few people, like a lot of designers and students as well. So the strong passion, when you hear about the stories of different designers, it's really encouraging and sort of puts me in a position where I'm thinking like, okay, what am I doing? So what am I doing? The other person was just sitting across me is like so passionate about this field, and do I have the same passion?
I feel you have much more. When I have the first time I spoke to you, and now what I see, I'll tell you, it's not necessarily design now, especially these days. It's not necessarily that you have to. Going to a school helps, but also your innate passion, right? That you have acquired knowledge from all different areas, and I see the things that you are doing. Rightfully, like what I see now, you're going and teaching people, guiding them, directing them. That's more than what even we could do. Trust me, I mean, it's not an easy task to reach out to so many people and finding out time to do things that you like. And that's what you like. That's what I say, it's your forte to go and create that impact in the field of design. And you are doing it. So you have much more passion than like any of us. And that's what I feel.
Well, if you put it that way, I don't know. Maybe I want to move on to the next topic that I wanted to discuss.
No, but it's true. No, it's true. Trust me, it's true.
Thank you.
Because I have been trying to. I say I do. But somehow it's because I'm doing in my own field, but there's so many areas that I want to do more.
Yeah.
I think you are inspiring me to now to take those actions which I have not been able to. So thanks to you that
I'm really
this is
glad.
happening.
I'm really glad. Thank you.
And this field is all about sharing and
Yes.
exchanging knowledge.
Yes.
This field is such. It's open sharing. It's nothing hiding. It's just openly we discuss, talk,
Exactly.
get to learn.
Exactly. So tell me something about how you prepared. Okay, you had the passion, you had the, let's say, conviction, the commitment, the dedication and everything. So how did you go about the process for preparing for the exam itself?
NID exams, when 2015 exam when I gave, it had 10 questions, majorly all subjective. You have to sketch things out and you have to visualize. What I see that what I understood and which I had from a very young age is that I had good visualization and also observation skills. Like I feel like which I have obviously I've seen over the period of time of my own growth and evolution of myself and my thought process is that I observe. I like to observe things. Even when I watch movies, things which are not direct. So capturing those things and get the thinking process happen. Like whenever you see things, how can you go beyond your normal thinking process? How can you not stop your brain just stop at that, your mind just stop at that? It could go beyond and just imagine. So imagination, visualization and observation, these three areas I tried to nurture my skills much more during that period of time. And when it comes to the exam specific, because see, NID you cannot just prepare an NID based on questions you have seen from the past.
Yeah.
It's up to you as an individual how true you are to that question that comes. Not the multiple choice, I would say, but the other ones which were during our times.
Right.
So, what extra that you bring from your part of visualization, what have you seen? And you're giving, I gave my exam when I was 24, at almost 1.5 years after my engineering. So 24 years till 24 years, I've observed so many things in my life, right? I've observed, I've seen, I have taken those. So all these things come together into those exams. That's what I feel. Also in the preparation of your portfolio. So that is more of the your personal side, which you could imagine and all of that. Now coming to the main process, I took help from a few. I did not go and take classes as such. I visited 1 or 2 weekends and I saw, but I was not I didn't want it to be among the herd. I wanted to because I did not get time also because I was working at the same time. So I was working in a startup also, and that time they helped me a lot. They gave me off. They're like, you can go do your studies. They helped me a lot at the same time to prepare for an IB. I got some good materials. I got really good materials to understand. And what I did when I took those questions, right? Those questions you could formulate your own questions after seeing one question, right? So I started doing that. Suppose they ask you to, do a storyboarding. So storyboarding they would frame a question based on one scenario.
Right.
So I started creating different scenarios within my whatever understanding I had, and I started sketching it out. And this is how, that's how the major process was, just getting those materials. And I did not have a major guide that time, but I had somebody called Arun, and he was quite good. He really spoke about, he himself being an NID, and he spoke about a lot of practical situations that come. But I believe one major thing about getting into NID and the preparation part is be just honest with yourself. Like my visualization skills would be so different from somebody else's because my perspective towards life and what I see is different from others. So what I feel is we have to be very honest with ourselves. Like when we go through a question, see it from my perspective. Only until unless it is asked to be seen from somebody else's perspective. But initially, when we see we have to be very honest with our thinking process and get our creativity into it, not just seeing and replicating what others are doing and what is there up. So some examples, in those material I found, and I started seeing things from my end, like the way I visualize the world, basically.
Right. That's
and
great.
Also reading a lot of books. I for me, Google helped a lot.
Okay.
To be very frank,
Okay.
I my knack for research actually started before NID when I was preparing. I watched a lot of documentaries. I watched design documentaries from not just once, twice, thrice to take the actual things that I want to take. Then I even watched movies, anything and everything that I find, magazines. I got to know about magazines, about like Form magazines and all, even before NID. So magazines. So I mean, reading, watching, and also observing makes you up. It helps you as a participant to go for
Right.
NID exams.
Can you name a few magazines or books that you read?
Obviously, to tell you one thing, one book, it's not a design book, and one book that really changed my perspective towards life was The Secret Book. And I think everybody has read that book, but that time I did not pay attention, but it kind of helps you in segregating those areas of your life in terms of like how do you see life, in terms of how do you want to plan and things, a lot of things, right? It's like, have to believe in yourself. So my outlook kind of, evolved around that time. And after that, I started reading the Don Norman book.
Yeah.
That's where when you obviously go and search online, those are the books actually it will come. I read Hoot. I read Jugaad by Anil Gupta, I think. Anil Gupta or Anil Kumar, I forgot. So these books help, and there is something called The Art of Innovation. I don't remember exactly how many, but it was just on the flow. I read a lot of books that time. Don Norman books really help initially when somebody wants to start. And I mean, that's like the Bible, right?
Right.
Yeah. And what else did I read? There's Art of the Creativity book. Then there is Art of Innovation, and there are so many. Like I am not able to recollect now what I read like then. I also read this book that time when it started. I think the UX for Dummies. I don't know why I read that book, but there, what happened? A lot of things. It kind of told me how to see it from the user perspective.
Right.
So that was one book I read, and I think this about. I think
Cool.
I'm not able to recollect
All
at
right.
this
No problem.
point of
No
time.
So, how did the interview go?
Oh, the interview was really interesting. So I had applied for 2 departments.
Okay.
One was lifestyle accessory and one was apparel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very sure that even in the interview, the studio test was good.
Mm-hmm.
The interview, the lifestyle accessory interview had Krishna Amin, who was the dean of the Gandhinagar campus, and she's gem of a person.
Mm-hmm.
And my coordinator, Amresh.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another person. So before the interview, I used to do a lot of craft activities also, right? I always kept it going.
Right.
So I did some research documentation on the Northeast crafts, and I made some, I went to a lot of villages. I captured things which were problems. I just identified a lot of problems that were happening, and I did not just do the normal basic things. I was trying to give out solutions, how we could evolve those crafts. So those things actually impressed me still, because I like the research part of it, and it was very I was very honest about everything, my ups and downs in my life. There have been times where I did not get any support. There have been times I had for quite a long period of time I had anxiety attacks. I used to go off to sleep crying, and I have to get up in the morning seeing that, oh, what am I doing? This is not what I want to do. So I was very honest about everything, whatever questions they asked. I did not have like wow portfolio, but whatever I had was all done by just basic me. I had sketches, I had things I used to like doing home decor. So I made a lot of carpentry work that I had put it up. I made lighting designs, and but everywhere I had a research approach. Like I did not just see something and I did. I tried to solve a problem and I made it. And very few things. I did not have a very great, lavish portfolio. I had very basic things. And to be very frank, I did not know 3D modeling then. So no 3D data. It's all handcrafted and handmade things. What they found really interesting was my documentation and the documentary kind of thing that I did was capturing all these crafts, going and meeting villagers and capturing, that was, and that too, that research documentation, I did not do it for the interview. I was just doing it because, I left my job in 2014 December and I had quite a good amount of time. I was at home. I left Bangalore. I was at home and then I felt, just to go around and see what is happening if I'm going to this department. So, and that's what I presented. And I think what got me through NID was my honesty and being very true to what I would go about. And even in apparel design, they asked me this question. I still remember my department head called Shimul, and she's again a wonderful person. She asked me about you have applied for lifestyle accessory, and if you get through both, if you get through, which one would you select? And I had no second thought. I was like, this is where I want to go. And why I want to go is something which I will share. I mean, why I chose lifestyle accessory design and why not product design, and because of my strength, weaknesses, and also my likes and dislikes and interest. So yeah. So the interview went really well and it was good. But after the interview, because it was Krishna ma'am, I remember it was quite a tough situation. Like the vibes and everything was like, oh, I was so nervous. And I came out and I'm like, mera to ho gaya hi shayad se. I'm like, ho gaya phir. Because I was like, maybe I was too honest about myself. And then, later also, there's another person who was there in the interview panel, Sudhir. He was there in NID now. I think he's working somewhere else. He told me later that, you got through because of the person you are. And majorly, even in NID, most of the people get through for who they are and how as an individual, what do you bring and what is your learning, knack, or what is your curiosity towards life? How much, you want to learn, how much, that knack. It's not like, oh, you know everything. They would, I don't know how much they take people, so who knows everything. They want people who do not know and who wants to know more, how they want to improve their lives and others' lives too. So be honest. I always say, be honest with your interviews, be honest with your exams. Nothing like it.
It's very interesting, very interesting. And how did you find the lifestyle accelerator department? So what did, let me put it this way, what did NID offer you? If you can just break it down.
I have to. It's a very big question.
Yeah. So it would be nice to know about the domain itself.
Yes. To come to why I chose LAD, lifestyle accessory. So when I was going through, the entire description about the departments, and initially I thought then I saw that I would apply to product design also. Today I say that I'm sorry as well as I'm thankful that I did not, because there are amazing people in that department I wouldn't have got through because I had no idea about 3D modeling and really doing all that technical stuff. So what I liked was this department when I actually went through, not before getting into NID when I was applying, was this LAD is an amalgamation of so many things coming together as a department. It gives you scope in working in accessories, in home decor, in bathroom, kitchen areas, anywhere. Like, anything that in lifestyle, the things that you need, you can. Also at the same time, it gives you the opportunity of learning about trends, materials, it gives you a very strong base about research. NID as a whole, as an organization, as a college, I've seen that anybody who comes out from NID is very good with research, and it always keeps in mind the user at the center. If you see most of the designers, so it's not just about doing the end product, it is always about the process in NID. So lifestyle accessory, when I read through their introduction and about the discipline, I was like, because I knew my strength areas, I knew my weaknesses. My strength area was something that, yes, I have a thing for research and I get my insights well. And secondly, what I saw that time I was quite good with my, crafting, handcraft areas and stuff like that. So I thought this would be a good area, because where I want to build my, career paths into. So that is why I chose. And when I got into, I would say there's so many, LID itself is like, 20-30 domains within LID. Literally you can learn so much. Anybody coming out of LID could become, a food designer, could become a jewelry designer, could become just like even a product designer that phase, because accessories are also products, like if you're doing a lighting design. So it gives you a large scope when it comes to LED. So to break down like every semester, to go about. So initially we had 6 weeks of fundamentals of design, which is like visual design, which is needed. And there you learn about the basic principles of design. You have also something which I like about all the NID modules is that we have a very application-driven approach, right? Like, even my first assignment, I remember we had to do like a poster, and again, it's a teamwork and so many things you discuss, you work out. So initially it was more about understanding the different design processes, design principles, fundamentals of visual design. And then the first semester was mostly to work along with other departments, and we had teams from different departments coming together, working in a design process, understanding there's something called design management, the different models of design management. Then those were the common courses that we had, and moving from there we had initially starting off with material science to understand different materials. So we worked a lot with surfaces and materials like natural materials. So in my batch we worked with plant. There's a plant called hyacinth, if you know. So we worked with water hyacinth actually to form different things or accessories. And before that, there was a module called where we had to understand wooden material or metal material. So we have to form something out of it. So from hard as well as soft material knowledge, that was a course. So initially the first semester is to understand more about materials and processes and systems and all of that. And then going to the second one where it was a mix of both, because initially also in the visual design part we have to also see the form, how form come about, right? That's a basic thing we need to learn, like shapes, contours, forms. So we start with visual basic 2D forms, then we go about doing 3D forms. So in second semester, form design, became much stronger. Forms and texture. Like if you see light, or if you see any kind of a product, it's all about if you see a car, right? So we have different forms coming and textures coming and surfaces coming together. So this is what was taught, and it was also taught about light and form. So these are mostly the content of second semester. Then we have jewelry design, we had craft design. So all these were there, and basically in the first semester you were taught the basics which needed to be applied in the second semester, and you have to come up with something solid products basically. So that was a part of second semester. And by second semester also what happens, you are so well aware about the design process that you really go about working. Also in the second semester we got to work in an area which is open elective. So that time in my department, in my batch, we worked with Indian Railways. So imagine all the different departments coming together, coming up with different designs. I got to work with somebody really amazing, who's one of the known designers. So I got to work with somebody, in the section of universal design. So my open elective was in Bangalore. Balaram sir, Professor Balaram sir, he's really an amazing designer, an amazing philosopher. Like, people follow him, and he's been one guide, and he's shown the field of design just in 2 weeks in a very different perspective. I got to meet a lot of blind people. My area was to work with blind people and physically challenged people. And it was one amazing module that I did, and along with my other team members too. So we had different people from different departments coming together. So it was a really good learning experience, and hence Open Elective is also a very good module that happens in NID, where we get to work with really live organizations like Indian Railways or Defense or whatever, and come up with projects within just 2 weeks. So so that was a part of second semester. And then by end of second semester, we had jewelry design. Jewelry design also, we have people coming, we are visiting faculties. So coming and teaching us about the live products, what they are doing in their fields and what we do being in the college. So we had a fashion show where we could display in my department, during my time, we did this not like casual jewelry. We had to go really work on the loud wearable jewelry and the loud wearable jewelries. So we worked on that area. It was really good fun. It was really good fun. It was quite interactive. And I think Manpreet from Manifest Design had come. So she's again a really amazing designer. So second semester was more about whatever you learned in the process, and first semester is to apply and create those elements of design and products. Not like a full-fledged products, but something which would be working and all that.
Very interesting. You have actually gone through different domains. Like you mentioned universal design, and then you came to jewelry design.
Yes.
Very interesting.
I'm telling you, like LAD and also especially NID. I mean, if hence we have this open elective or interdisciplinary design forums or subjects where you actually get to work with so many different people. My team members were from one was from graphic design, one was from universal design, one was from product design. So 4-5 of us came together and we had to present. So imagine so many departments, so many 275 people, right? Came together, and so many different projects came, and all these open electives were taken by visiting faculties and who were alumni of NID, who were even non-alumni people. So it was really great fun. And final day when you had to present was lovely. My course was in Bangalore, and I get to meet a lot of amazing people. I saw how blind people who are preparing for IS exams, and somebody was already cleared IS exam.
Yeah.
So hats off to you don't get to meet such people on a day-to-day life.
Right.
So that was really good, and we have touched upon so many different subjects in my LAD time. I would say that I'm so grateful that not just one area that I had to focus on, so many different areas I have to focus on. So now, even if I want to in the future, if I want to go and study, I want to go and build my career in jewelry design or anywhere, I could go and start. So this is what LAD gives you. LAD gives you an open path, and you choose where you want to work and where you want to build your career. So that has been my second semester. And after that, we have to apply for our internship. So I did my internship from Safari Industries, a part of VIP then. So had to work on travel accessories. That was again a very new project that these guys were doing, and the first project. Again, it was very fun. I could go to my first factory visit, in my NID time. So we were traveling, we could see the process of manufacturing, and that has always fascinated me. I would always suggest people that whenever you're creating something, let it be a product or anything where you need physical material, always good to go and have an exposure about how it is happening, what is a factory like. Usually what happened, we what we do is that, we are always in the comfort zone and we sit and see something and we design.
Yeah.
But sometimes what happens when we go and see the actual reality, how it's getting manufactured, how is the assembly line, you have different ideas coming. Like, you would really think in a very different tangent altogether. So live action to see how it is getting formed, these processes, systems, materials, it's very important for any product designer, not just a lifestyle accessory designer. I would say anybody who's planning on going about doing industrial design or product design too. So that internship also helped me a lot to understand different aspects of how to build the design and also to satisfy the marketing team, right?
Yeah.
So those nuances of presentation, to understand the business needs, how to, if you have to have a product which you need to commercialize. So those things started interest me around, from my internship time, and I really wanted to be in corporate world, hence not just to understand, learn, and also to network. So what happens, somebody who's from a non-design background would bring onto the table such a different outlook for the product or the idea, that you would actually start thinking from a different angle. So I always prefer to interact with people who are non-designers too, and also talk to them about how we think. So they also get curious. Okay, this is how you guys do it. So it's always good to interact and always be like, I've learned one thing from NID, and also which I try to implement now, is to be open-minded. Anybody would come and criticize, and criticizing is a part which is so good to have. Initially, I'm telling you, this is a learning process. Initially, I used to take it like a little, I used to be upset, right? Like when you're like, oh, yeah, why is it not working? And things that you're not good at and somebody is much better at. And then we have to be open-minded. And which again, I learned a lot when I went to Israel, when I saw people helping each other. Here what happens in India is that sometimes we get scared, okay, maybe somebody else might copy our design, somebody, some infringement issues and all that, or somebody might just take our idea. But you know what? Everybody's idea is their idea, because it has its own way of thinking, right? Somebody might add something into it, but your idea is your idea. So we have to be grateful that even our ideas are coming. Imagine like if our brain cannot think and nothing was working. So we have to be really grateful about all that. So that's how second semester in internship worked. And do you want to ask something before I go on about?
Because you mentioned Israel, right? You mentioned Israel. So that happened, I believe, after the first year? Internship, yeah.
First year.
Right. So how did that happen? And how does that work with NID, and who gets to go abroad and who decides that, all of that?
So what happened, so we were aware about our seniors used to go do different. So I think during my time, I think it's increased now, during my time, we had 62 MOUs that NID had with different universities across the globe. And what happened was, they choose based on the performers in the class that time. I don't know about now presently. So that ways, I think my friend Ashmika was the topper in that semester. Then I was second, and Pratik, my classmates, they were like, so Ashmika got a chance. So we had to choose, like we had Australia, UNSW, Israel and Germany. And first initially even I thought of going to Germany. But I don't know, I had spoken to my brothers who have been to Tel Aviv and who's worked in industries from Israel based, and they say like, you can go to Germany anytime, but going to Israel, and that too through a student visa, is nothing like it. And being a startup nation, and I'm telling you, my entire confidence, I never knew that I would be able to travel alone, and it's not like even a known country. People, Israel, you go to Israel, you have to be safe, there are bombings and all of that. I'm telling you, it's all nonsense what media spreads, nothing of that sort. There are on the extreme path, maybe a little bit, but not so much. So how it happened was, I was doing my internship, I think, and that time this thing came about the exchange program, and they select, right? I mean, we have to, like, then Ashmika said that she was going to go to Germany, and I along with another person from retail design, we had to go to Israel. But because the person from retail design kind of backed out to go to Israel, so me and Pratik, whom you know, I think, so we had a good fun. We went to Israel. So that was, and the process was quite smooth. You know, we have an international coordinator, program coordinator. So who, I mean, through the, our department coordinator proposes the names, and according to our ranking in the class, and then they choose about who's going to go where and all of that.
I'll tell you a funny story here. So when I applied for NID and I was sitting in the interview room, and
you were there, in the Gandhinagar campus.
Okay. I was there, and Pratik was there. So Pratik came to see me. He was very generous. He said, "Okay, I'll come and see you."
He's a sweetheart, literally.
Very good guy. Like, I was so surprised that I got to know him through Facebook. Okay, you wouldn't even believe. I got to know him. I just dropped in a very random message. I was looking for somebody who can, guide me and, who can tell me what is happening inside, so that I'm applying there, right? So he guided me throughout the process, and I went there, and after the interview, I met him. I think my interview went on for 35 to 40 minutes, and I explained that interview to Pratik for, I think, a couple of hours. So in the interview, there was Amresh sir, right? And there were two other people.
It's okay, you call him Amresh. It's fine. He's quite chill that way. It's fun, yeah.
So he said, "What else did you do apart from design and a small startup that I had back then, and illustrations, and what else did you do, after graduating from your BTech?" And I said, I learned a couple of languages because I want to go exchange program when I join LID. So So he said,
"So what? How was his reaction?"
He was like, "Oh wow, which languages?" I said, "I know German and Italian." And he said, "Okay," and people were smiling at me, and I was like, "Okay, I don't know if I did it right or wrong."
This guy is like super prepared. This guy, that's a good part, because you were honest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you did. Like, you were honest about it. That yes, I've prepared.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hide about it, right? So that's great.
So when I was telling to Pratik all of this, he said, "Dude, did you just tell him that?" I said, "Yes, I did."
I can imagine Pratik's face now, like reacting. We're like, "What, dude? Right?" So you guys might be talking either in Khopcha or or in the teachers' that sitting area.
I think it was boys' hostel के बिल्कुल नीचे basement में.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's also.
Yeah. We went to the Khopcha also. Yeah.
That Khopcha is not there anymore. It's a new Khopcha, I think, now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's like, they had to reconstruct a new place.
Oh, okay. All right.
But wow, yeah. Seriously. A small world.
Yeah, small world.
Small world.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So after the exchange program finishes, so do you have one more semester, right, left at NID campus?
I just had one module left because I did almost 2 semesters there. Only one semester which I wanted to do, the system design was there. I would like to highlight upon a few things about the Israel
yes,
structure.
Please. Yeah.
So what happened after my internship, my 3rd semester started, and then there was a subject called Form and Culture. This subject is very specific again to LAD. And this subject is an eye-opener to a lot of things in terms of when you talk about UX. So this subject teaches you to see forms. That's a separate part. But before that, it teaches, it kind of like you get to learn about lifestyle patterns, consumer behaviors, how are people living in their houses, understanding ethnographic structures, like, from all aspect of how human live, how. So my that subject I had taken a form which is the cradle, the baby cradle, which is called Ghodiyo, I think in Gujarati. So had to, because wahan pe it's very famous, they have different ones. So I had to like study, and like that entire subject, it's so beautiful, like literally, and you have to really see the driving forces, the basic needs, how one force is driving on the other force to create a societal system, like belief system. So it was a mix of everything. And this subject, I mean, I would say that anybody who gets into an ID should take this subject like really seriously, because I really enjoyed. At the same time, I understood the process of research there. And you have to map. When you talk about cognitive mapping and understanding users in an empathetic way, like you have to understand users from all like perspective of empathy. So what happened was there we have to map those forces. What is creating this structure in the system? What is changing? Why are people reacting? Like, why do we have that shape, the form of a cradle? It's because the woman in the womb, when she's carrying a baby, right? So, I mean, the baby is positioned in that way, and there is this, the entire thing of the water, right?
Yeah.
So that the baby moves. Yeah. So, baby moves in that way. So, I mean, there's an entire subject of study in that. The form comes later. Like you study the form, but you also study the entire system around it. How people are placing it at home, how they're using it. That's one subject people. I mean, I had really good fun, studying that module. And then after that, we had a craft. After that, we had this craft study where we have to go to Kutch and study, the craftsmanship and everybody's their lifestyle, what they're doing, create some craft products. It was also really fun, like going, and a lot of field studies we had during my tenure of NID. And then finally we had this subject of trends, trend mapping and understanding materials like CMF, color material finishes, different aspects of environment, society, culture, economics. You kind of bring together to how trend mapping happens, right, from mega trends to minor trends, and then you take up something. So that was that halfway through, I think I had to leave for Israel. And in Israel, again, I took some amazing modules. Like first of all, something funny that I want to share. I think if Pratik would be watching, he would be also laughing. So me, Pratik, and another girl was Varnika. She was in bachelor's of experience design, I think, also exhibition design. So we three had the same flight to Israel, Tel Aviv, and it was via Turkey, Istanbul, and we had the Turkish flight. Now what happens? I have traveled abroad before, but then not alone. I've always traveled with my family. So here, what happened? We get down in Istanbul airport, and sorry to say, Istanbul airport is a fish market. Literally. I've heard that. And and it's super cold. And we reach and we see the time difference. Like, आराम से time है, 1.5 घंटा है हमारे पास. And then we freshen up, we go to eat. And I still remember the gate number is 215. Okay. And we had our burgers and stuff. It's too crowded. And we're done. And हम लोगों ने 15 minutes में we have done all our things. And then we go to the gate. And we don't see people, the set of people who were like flying with us. Like some faces you would remember, right? Yeah. We don't see, and then we ask, and what happened is, because it's a silent airport, that's how it was. And we somehow missed seeing the TV screen where all the departures and gate numbers. So they did not announce that there was a gate change. Wow. And we were sitting around saying, log to aayenge, shayad se hum log early hai, we are early. And we don't see movements, we don't see, there's we don't see anything happening, any activity happening there. And I went and asked one guy, there were some pilots standing. And the pilot said, that flight left. I'm like, what? Wow. Yeah, literally. He's like, that flight left. I panicked, okay? And then I run around and go, oh, that flight is leaving. Somebody said that flight is leaving. Now what to do? And people cannot communicate in English, a lot of people. Right? We had so much of trouble. We are running around. And somebody said that please go to the transfer desk. And we do not have we have not even started our exchange program and this started happening in the airport. And somehow we three run to the second, the next floor. Where we had the transfer desk, and they're like, ma'am, we're just going to take the air bridge off.
Oh wow.
I'm like, please. And we three are almost crying, and I literally Ganesh Baba, I'm literally taking Ganesh Shika mantra in my head, please don't do this, and running around, and he just did something and he made the flight stop. The air bridge was still there and they were waiting for us, for three of us.
You guys.
And the funniest part that still, if you to go to that gate, you have to again go through a security check. Imagine.
Wow.
So you have to just throw you have to open your belts and all of that.
Wow.
Okay, and I left some of my stuff. I forgot also because it was so much in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had a panic attack or a heart attack. This was equivalent to a heart attack. Seriously.
Yeah.
The moment I just sat in the flight, and my seat was, and our three of our seats were different. My seat was there, just next to the exit seat, and I'm shivering. It was an experience, hell of an experience that I would never forget. And Istanbul airport has something that both ways, not just one way. While coming also, we had a miscommunication. It was what do you call it? It was Afshagun, they say in Hindi culture, right? In our tradition. So something is there which was not fitting right for three of us. So somehow we landed and it was all good. We got a really good house and we stayed. We had good fun. We met some people from IIM also there. They were also doing their 2 months of exchange program.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good fun, and going to college, coming to the college, which is Bologna Institute of Technology, Faculty of Design. So specifically, we chose to do me and Pratik had different subjects, but it was in the field of industrial design. So one of the subject was to understand the Israel context, Israel culture, and we do public art kind of outcomes were more of doing public art. And I took up one was complete product design, which was again the product design was more again. So what is the good part about Israel study modules? What I liked, which I always feel we should also have it in India, is that majority of their modules and subjects happen in industry collaboration.
Okay.
So you have live mentors from industry coming. You have stakeholders coming from the companies, telling them what is that they need, and out of 12 people in the class, they select the 3 to 4 best, and they actually get those things manufactured.
Wow.
So you get to meet those stakeholders, you get to meet, go and display, you get to go and meet the factory outlets and see what's happening. Even Google and all actually come and take up projects.
Wow.
These colleges. So this is something which I feel it gives you confidence when you go to the market. That's something that I think even NID or other colleges also should start taking it up seriously. Maybe they might be doing it now. I don't know. But it's really important, I feel.
Yeah.
So there was another subject that I had taken was culinary design, which is one area. I think India has a lot of scope. Because we have such different taste buds in every state you go. And it was called Designing for Food or Culinary Design.
Okay.
So imagine you can do so much in the area of not just gastronomy. I would say gastronomy is an area where you can actually experiment and come up with dishes. But I mean food as a design. We were taught about human senses. When we eat, Indian especially, when we eat by hand, when we mix through our hand. So there's so much of sensorial work that goes in our head. So when instead of somebody who's eating by spoon. So these areas I could explore, and when I feel that design is there everywhere. Even when you're eating pani puri, there could be something that you could do in the pani puri section also. Not building a product, I'm saying, but just to understand and make things simpler. So this food design is an area which I enjoyed, and we also worked with autistic. Me and Pratik had the similar subject to work with autistic kids.
Okay.
That product is in the open source platform. so we had different projects with those autistic kids, live autistic. You have to go see how they are dealing with what are the problems they are facing.
Interesting.
So this live projects, and there's another project that I did with Polycat, where this product was chosen to get manufactured. So I mean, I feel things which I could not do in NID, in terms of literally going and getting my product get manufactured live and seeing it. Those things I could do in Israel, in Tel Aviv. And imagine in a new place, I'm traveling by bus, going and finding different factories where to find those rubber, where to get the photoelectric. You have to get the cutouts in photoelectric process, where to get the lathe machine done. This gave me a lot of confidence that yes, it's not. I did not have any issue with the safety being a being a girl, being a woman there. Even at night, once I remember I was in a factory industry area and there were barely any people, and I could actually go out, make those things, come back and get the things done. So I had a lot of products ready on when I came from Israel, because I could get those. I could realize my ideas quite faster there because of, and also I learned my 3D modeling, to be very frank, in Israel very well. I had people. And another thing which I see in students in Israel is that what happens I have seen in our setups that people are still not that free about going and helping others, living your own project. But there it is not like that. The workshops used to be like, mera project to chal raha hai, ho jayega, but let me go and help.
Right.
In the sense, you are going to go and learn something else from that person when you are helping that person's project.
Right.
So those things were really nice takeaways from Israel, and
very interesting. And I kind of relate to it because I've had European design education, and I lived in Italy for almost 2 years, and even for us, the professors were coming from the industry directly, and they were a professor who was if I have to name him, Giancarlo Concilio. He was he worked with Maserati. He was working with then Fiat, I think. So he was in the interior department of interior design of a car, and what he talks wouldn't I realize later on that he used to talk about a lot of things, and very simple things, which felt like, okay, ये तो बहुत simple है यार, ठीक है. But then you understand afterwards, I understood afterwards that okay, this is so deep. I mean, that guy was talking a lot of things when he was saying this thing, right? So it's a different exposure, different there's diversity in everything, cultures, people, everything was new. Food was new to me, language was new, the songs that I was listening to was new. So you learn the culture, you get to know about the people, how to crack jokes in their language,
Yes.
So,
and that too, I think same, right? In Germany, I mean, eventually by the end of the, my change program, so my classes used to happen in Hebrew, by the way.
Wow.
So there was a translator. So eventually, I realized that you can also understand, these things, the languages of design, I would say, when they're teaching. You could just see and you can learn, right? Though there was a translator, there's so much they could understand.
Definitely.
My expressions, I could understand their expressions.
Definitely.
And I never felt it difficult. Not from the first day, I never felt it difficult. It was so easy for me because I made good friends. They took me to their houses, fed me good food.
Yeah.
So it was an awesome and wonderful experience. I'm going to cherish it throughout my life.
I know, right?
And it's a beautiful place. Anybody, people get little, hesitant if you talk about Israel, visiting Israel. It's good. I think I could understand an awesome experience you might have had during your stay in
Definitely.
Germany, right?
In Italy.
Italy.
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely loved it. Move out of the house. Outside my balcony, I had 2 balconies. My house had 2 balconies, and दोनों sides से Alps दिखते थे. तो
और क्या चाहिए? What else do you want? Literally?
And then it was so clear. See, I'm from Delhi. Okay, I know how the pollution is here. I have never seen clear sky for 2 or 3 consecutive days नहीं देखा है मैंने,
Yeah.
because it's so
You would
polluted,
not-
you know.
You might have seen birds. Yeah, you might have seen birds. You might have seen like beautiful
Right.
rainbows when it's raining, maybe.
And it was beautiful
Wow.
because हर रोज शाम को you have that sky turning into different colors, okay, and that reflection was I used to see on the walls of my house. Was
Oh, wow.
that beautiful? Like my walls
Beauty.
would go purple shade में. It was very very
Yeah,
amazing.
sometimes it goes orange,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
it goes like
yeah,
pink.
yeah. It's
Wow.
really amazing.
I mean, it's beautiful. People are also very nice. I know something about Italy is that people like to enjoy their life.
Oh yes.
So their work is also like, you want to have fun work,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they also like very quickly they want to like, they like enjoying their life, and also work is also like, at play.
Yeah.
They don't stress much. That's what I don't know if I'm wrong, but that's what I feel.
Yeah, I think it's
I've,
true. They have dedicated working hours, and after you are done with the work, that's
Yes.
it. Like you go out, you have fun. I mean, it's just very nice. I mean, the culture pretty much. Yeah, another thing is it pretty much revolves around food a lot, because the food is amazing. I know, like
Yeah.
it's heaven for any foodie out there. And yes, it has to be like, you have to be a non-vegetarian for sure. Otherwise, restrictions are
It's
काफी.
really difficult.
Yeah.
But I know food might be really. I mean, obviously, hence designers who get to like travel and who travels around the world, their level of thinking and their level of creativity is at a very different dimension. I feel, travel
True.
gives you a very
Different perspective.
different perspective. Yeah.
So how was moving back to India for you?
Yeah, so what happened, because I'm a very family person also at the same time. So,
Ah,
so Pratik left little early. So Pratik left a little early, and he wanted to like stay with his parents a little. I had to finish off some of my work, those products that I were making. So what happened? I left around March first week, and so I was also missing the noise pollution, to be very frank. It was also very silent, right?
Right.
So like living in India, you also you get so used to it. Sometimes it's become a part of you.
Yeah.
So after some time, it was actually something that I was also missing, and then it happened. Then I came back, and immediately my college was obviously on that, and I had to like immediately go. I just stayed one day in Bombay, and I went back, and then. By then, service design was module was taking place, and then finally system design.
Okay.
So I took some time to get adjusted, to be very frank, because their work as well as like I used to work as well as I used to have a lot of time for myself to read books, go and just explore, just walk. I used to walk so much, like explore museums. Graffitis are so well known. Like there are different places of Tel Aviv where actually you could see live graffiti. Go and just walk around, different small stores. All these designers have small studios. So did a lot of that, and then it was like work plus vacation both, I would say.
Yeah.
And here coming is suddenly system design, right? So I had to like little come back and like start working, and I could not see my parents because obvious reasons, because I couldn't go back to Guwahati, and so hence I was a little upset. But then it's fine. Like once I got back to work, it was all good. And system design was, I worked on IPR, intellectual property rights, on creating a design registration proper system design within NID. How for students,
Okay.
People are not aware about about the entire infringement thing, right?
Yeah.
So people get scared about the copying part of it, somebody taking something, some ideas could be taken. So I was working on understanding those. It was a difficult subject of study because it has in India itself is a very complex.
Yeah.
The legal part of it is very complex.
Yeah.
So initially, I mean, the outcome was something in system design which I did not expect, but it was more like an application design, mobile app design, which I wanted to like give it to an idea for them to so understand people what are the processes, which office you need to go, whom do you need to contact. The very simple mobile app that I after understanding the different connotations of the system.
That's cool.
And so yeah.
Very
And
interesting.
during that time, I think we had placements. Like we have two different placements that happen in NID. One is in December, one is in May. So the May one, I had gone to Bangalore. The May one happens around April. May it happens in Bangalore,
Okay.
and so I got through Titan Industries.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of respect for Tata Group of Industries. But more than that, so what happened when I got through, like I was giving interviews in different places, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew about Michael Foley, I knew about Neil Foley, and because they're like father designers of how do you talk, like our generation of NID. So I gave the interview. I didn't know it was Neil Foley because I don't remember his face. I have just seen Michael's face.
Okay.
I gave the interview and it went well, and they were asking about everything, like why I would want to join, and I was explaining them about my projects and if it fits their requirement and all of that. And done, and I was sitting for a different interview, and I could somewhere I could hear something. Oh, this person in this light. He was wearing like a baby pink shirt, very nice, and Neil's personality is very strong. Like he comes across the way he speaks, and like I'm very fond of him as a mentor, And I don't know what happened. I gave so many other interviews, but my mind was stuck there.
Mm.
So and the results came next day, and I got through 2 or 3.
Mm.
I was a little confused, like what to do, and because I was the role there, it was more of a designing a retail experience,
Okay.
and also doing visual merchandising, which is again I have not learned in my department.
Yeah.
But then what happened when it came to experience design? So in LAD there's also a module called space experience design, which is like really physical experience design. So I missed that module because I had gone to Israel, and I was like, it's a challenge for me because it'll be good for me, right?
Yeah.
If I have not done something and to do that. So after really thinking and taking talking to a lot of people, I decided to go ahead with Neil to work under Neil Foley, as a part of Titan Industries. So
Very
that
interesting.
was my till my internship. And
Right.
before going ahead, I would want if you have
Yeah.
anything
Right.
that we can discuss.
Yeah, I think that was broke it down very well and was in good detail, and that was really good. And I really thank you for that because a lot of students, they have this thing about what happens inside the NID. Not a lot of them talk about it. I mean, it's very important to know before you get into any particular domain. Okay, what is it offering? Okay, what is it offering,
Yes,
and
yes.
how to even, let's say, be prepared for the questions they ask you in the interview, right? So this will give them a good perspective and good understanding of what LAD is all about and what they can do, irrespective of, for example, somebody might be making products and everything, but they can apply to LAD and they can also, find their way in this thing. So this will
Yes.
definitely help them. So thank you for doing that. And
Thank you.
now,
It's my pleasure, whatever I could give out and whatever. I mean, because I'm like really recollecting everything and I'm like speaking, right?
right.
So yeah, and I also want everybody, just one thing, whenever you go around talking to people, is whenever even I say I have guided a few people to get into bachelor's recently, I've just told them that know your own strength.
Yeah.
You should also know your own weaknesses.
Mhm.
But I feel myself that instead of working on your weaknesses much, you will become an average person. But if you work on your strength, right, you could actually excel in what you
Yes. Yes.
do. Yeah.
Very
So
true.
I always say that you please know your weaknesses and you could work on it side by side, and don't make those as your major changes. Always work on your strength because you're an individual. and you have your own strength area, and it could nourish you in a very different way.
Yeah,
So I always say that.
that's very true.
And always be true to yourself and true to those interview panel, because they are not. They have seen lakhs and lakhs
Yeah.
of people come and go,
Yeah.
and you cannot fool around them. That's what I see. You cannot
That's
fool
true.
around them.
That's true. And it's very important to understand that. Very, very true.
Yes.
So now I would like to talk about a little about your industry experience. Okay, so
Yes.
you worked at Bajaj Electronics and then now you're at Crompton. So how is it working in there? Like for example, Crompton makes these fans, lights, LEDs, and all of these things, right? So you are a design strategist over there, right? So can you tell us a little about what your work is like? Yeah.
So I would like to build this, bridge this gap of, how, the entire journey
Right.
of like in very little possible manner.
Right.
So when I was in Titan, obviously I understood the industries, especially Indian organizations.
Mhm.
And my think about getting into Indian organizations and working there is that when you're working in an Indian organization, you get to learn end to end.
Mhm.
You could see the manufacturing happening here, you could see the decision making happening here
Yeah.
in front of your eyes. You would know the entire whole cycle and the process. Whereas, it's also good to work for MNCs, I have nothing for it. But sometimes what happens, that's not my area.
Mhm.
In the sense, I would not know what major decision making is happening,
Yeah.
if it is abroad, if it is a MNC, right? Because a lot of things happen abroad. My interest area have always been working in these ones, and also because I got through Bajaj when I was also working in Titan, and Neil actually helped me. He has told me that understand your own process. There is a design process, but I have my own process of working. I have my own process of designing. I have my own process of thinking. So understanding and stitching those processes as your own process is something that we need to really take ahead in our industries. So during my placements, when I got through Bajaj, I remember it was a spot offer,
Mhm.
and I was glad because it's R&D.
Mhm.
They specialize in electricals and all that. But initial 6 months of my time, I got to work with Anand Bajaj,
Mhm.
who was his MD. Unfortunately, because of his demise, a lot of things changed in Bajaj. It was initially started off with research work, a lot of research work. Building, we wanted to build bulbs and all for Tesla, literally, like
Wow.
so things that we could send it in space and all of that. So that kind of vision Anand Bajaj had, and it was a really good time working with him, understanding his vision, and like such a visionary he was, that I still acknowledge, and I'm still grateful to have met him for this brief period of time. And there my roles were mostly in terms of, initially my project was on UI UX. The first project of Bajaj where had to build a smart water heater UI UX. So
Okay.
that's where I worked on, and that's where my interest, because I used to do a lot of freelancing.
Mhm.
Otherwise, also
Mhm.
before working, so I had friends in different organizations. We come together where we do freelancing, collaborative work
Right.
on designing, understanding users, designing interfaces. So that was my first industry experience of working in the UI UX platform, and the difficulties that faced, because nothing was there, everything was new. I had to set up the process. Nothing was done before that. So really going through understanding what happens and how could I explain this to stakeholders. These things were learned. And also, we did not have developers, so I had to go out and explain the different assets that you have to create to, give it to the developers. So a lot of these things came. Then I got interested in working in IoT a lot. So because that was my first IoT project, and after that I worked a lot on the CMF side, understanding different trends. A lot of my products where I worked on the CMF are in the market. So Bajaj was a mix of research as well as industrial design, and also as well as UI UX. This has been my specialization. And even during the Bajaj time, I was involved in the research part of projects where I used to have UNA study, go visit people's houses, understand their lifestyles, do ethnographic study, do user interviews. So I kind of what I saw that I have been interested in research, and I kind of started building my skills around that of how to conduct these things. Let it be remotely, let it be physically. So hence I started curating my career. That's where my transition happened from Bajaj to Crompton. Majorly, and also I've only worked in R&D, so it's always been the research, trial, error, talking to people also in the context of R&D only, right? You would not talk on the context of other things, which is ready-made and available. So it's not template-based design, it's mostly on the research and research-driven design. So hence the area of design research became more strong for me. And when this offer came from Crompton, it was again from the R&D prospect, because Crompton already has a R&D setup.
Okay.
But this is called the corporate innovation. Just like the innovation work we were doing in Bajaj earlier, a similar innovation work where I have to understand the consumer needs, build different project cases, business cases, strategize those cases and go and present to the stakeholders, then also design at the same time, working on IoT platform, working on the UI UX. It's a very mixed role that I'm doing. So not necessarily everything I've studied in LAD, but I have studied in the journey.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing presently.
A lot of responsibility as well. Yeah, because you're defining, or you, like you said, at Bajaj, you just, there was no process as such. You had to make the process. So there's a lot of responsibility, and R&D also demands a lot of time and a lot of thought process, a lot of time that you spend thinking about things. So I'm sure it would be draining.
I had a good team, Sanjay. I had a very good team. We used to discuss. I had members from NID also, their product design. Then I had people from IISc. I had people from IIT. I had seniors from different organizations. We had a team of 8. The team of 8 was really strong to drive research and product development. We used to have brainstorming sessions. We've also worked in a period of time where we did not have managers. Imagine. Still we have, we have actually gone through the entire process of going and directly pitching to the marketing people, and marketing have accepted.
Right.
So these things have happened, and it's all learning process. But what I see from where I was in NID and what I am now, I have understood this entire ecosystem. Of how it works. And you have to have, we have to be flexible. If anybody comes and says that, okay, no, we don't like the design, there is a reason for them to say that, not about, nobody's personally, deciding on that. They see it from different perspective about, if it's going to hit the market, what is the ROI going to be like? So these aspects also as a designer, we need to understand. So hence understanding the entire ecosystem of, it gives you a much better process when you're thinking and when you're designing something. You would take these things in your mind. Okay, if this is my target persona, I am thinking this is going to be my target persona. Are you really testing it out? So hence it's very important to go research, talk to users. I've been to field studies a lot. I used to be in the market to understand dealers. Alone I've gone with friends, I've gone with colleagues.
Wow.
I've gone to fan dealers. I've gone to so many factories. Bajaj has given me the exposure of going to at least 8 factories till now in Baddi, Chandigarh, Delhi, Bangalore. Bangalore has a lot of electronics development, companies. Then Hyderabad. So these places have given me a lot, and you understand vendors' perspective. You will not believe vendors also have designers who does CAD modeling with no design study. So you get to learn from all these people. So I always suggest that designers have to go out, be flexible, be open, and meet people, and incorporate those in your design process. And it's not like you have to have a set design process. Your own design process also you can keep on changing, varying according to the needs for the market and business. I don't know if I have missed anything. I don't know. I'm just very like
No.
मैंने just openly सब बोला है. I don't know. You have to
No,
decide.
I think it's pretty good. And the thing is, there's not much left to talk about suggestions to the aspirants, because you've mentioned a lot of things during the whole conversation. So I don't want to.
I've like gone back and collecting everything and just saying it to you.
Which is good. Which is good.
Uh-huh.
Very interesting to also get to know the department of research, how a designer can, think about being there in the first place,
Yes.
right? So that's very interesting, and thank you for sharing that. And I really want to thank you for
My pleasure.
taking out time from your schedule and giving this much time to this podcast. And I'm sure a lot of students would definitely gain a lot of things out of it.
Hopefully, I have been just very open about how it's been with me, and I've always been open about things, and I also know that though I'm a designer, I could do a lot of other things. Like suppose I want to be in the field of investment, I want to be in the field of stock market. So I feel there is design need, or a designer can contribute in any field. It's
Yeah.
up to an individual where they're interested. Not
Yeah.
necessarily what you have studied, you have to do that for your lifetime. That's a different belief I have. It's just that whatever interests you could bring design thinking, you could bring research and all of that there also. It's just you
Right.
have to somebody, one has to believe in what they're doing.
Yeah,
That's
true.
the thinking I take ahead.
That's amazing. Thank you
It's
so
just a start,
much.
yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting, and thanks. I would say that you're doing an amazing job. It's my first podcast, and it's such a ice breaking. And I feel that I also will not believe something that I want to wrap up by saying this. I used to be a very silent person. I was telling one of the persons who's also doing very good, Ishan. You might know India Design. The India Design guy. So we had one day Instagram live, and I was telling till class 12th I used to be so silent that my mom dad used to really think I have a problem. Even my friends, even my school friends, we have connected now much better. They say, "Ye ladki to what is she like? Why doesn't she speak?" And now when I speak, sometimes not with everybody, but when I speak, I don't stop. If my closest of the people will watch this video, they'll understand. They will understand that ये तो यही है. So, but I'm just being I'm an open book that way. So, yeah.
That's
Now.
great.
And NID has made me that. NID has given me a very new life. I say when I started getting into design, and NID just did not push me to study design. NID made me who am I today. And it's not just me, I'm saying my relatives, my family people, my friends who have been there from a long time, they know, and they say that you have those side, the innocent side of you there. You are still that kid inside. But the other side of being confident, going about talking to people and reaching out to people, working things out, it has been given by NID,
Right.
you become a very different person from NID, I see. And also any school, I think, design makes you like that. It's not just NID, I would say, design makes you like that. If
That's
for me
very
it's
true.
my school, I think you have gone to Italy, you might have experienced, you might be a different person altogether.
Altogether,
You
yes.
evolve.
For sure.
That's about it,
Alright.
and thank you, Thank
Thank
you
you.
for inviting me.
It's a pleasure.
Doing
It's a
this-
pleasure.
Doing this ice breaking for myself, that I could also come and speak. So I'm sorry if I've spoken anything rubbish, but I
No,
hope
but-
it helps.
Yeah, it
helps.
does.
It helps my the juniors or maybe the younger generations to pursue what they feel and what they like doing, and believing in one, like yourself. I believe that you only grow when you believe in yourself and you think that yes, I can do it. That might not be the right time, but there's a time that's going to come and you will realize, oh yes, it didn't happen then, but it's happening now.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Patience is one thing NID has taught.
Oh yes.
I think this field itself is such that, right?
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
think that.
Yes. Thank you so much.